You ever wonder what it's actually like to buy a business? I mean, not just in theory, but with real numbers, a real location, and a real price tag. Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct an actual business for sale to see what your money really gets you. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the price, $225,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. That could be a down payment on a house, a couple of really nice cars, or it could be the key to owning your very own business. So you gotta ask, what kind of opportunity does that kind of money actually unlock? For the next few minutes, let's just pretend we're investors. We're not just watching a presentation, we are potential buyers, and we're kicking the tires on a real, living, breathing company that's on the market right now. Let's see if this thing is the real deal or, something you should just walk away from. All right, so our journey today takes us down to sunny Pinellas County, Florida. And this isn't some made-up example. This is a real-life opportunity listed for sale by a big company called Transworld Business Advisors. We're going to break down the official listing and really get into the details. And there it is. So what are we looking at? It's a retail jewelry brand. The listing calls it a stylish, family-run, permanent jewelry studio. And it's in a popular, high-traffic spot. First impressions, looks pretty cool. But what exactly is being sold here? Okay, let's dig into the product itself. I mean, the success of any shop really comes down to what you're selling and why people want to buy it. So what in the world is permanent jewelry? Let's break that down. So the idea is actually pretty simple, but really clever. Instead of a normal clasp, a tiny link on a bracelet or anklet is micro-welded shut. It creates a seamless piece of jewelry that you literally never take off. And that right there, that turns it from just a piece of jewelry into a whole experience, which is a really powerful thing in today's market. Right, so here's the key takeaway. You're not just selling a thing, you're selling an event. The listing really pushes this. People come in for a custom, personalized fitting, and they often do it for special occasions. Think birthdays, bachelorette parties, that sort of thing. And since they're using high-quality stuff, well, that means good margins and a service people actually remember. And look, this isn't some brand new idea they just cooked up. This business has a 3-year track record. They started out super lean as a home-based and mobile pop-up business, which honestly is such a smart way to build a brand and test the waters without spending a ton of money. And now they've graduated to a real 700-square-foot retail store. That tells you there's a real story of growth here. Okay, so the concept is cool, the backstory shows growth, but now's when we, as potential buyers, have to get serious. It's time to follow the money. Let's look at the numbers. This is the million-dollar question, or in this case, the $225,000 question. A great story is one thing, but you're buying a business to make money, right? The listing came with tax returns and financial statements, so let's dig in. All right, let's rewind to 2023. Their tax return shows over $312,000 in sales. Now, after you take out the cost of the actual jewelry, that's the cost of goods sold, and all the other expenses, their net income, the profit on paper, was just over $101,000. Not bad, right? Over $100,000 in profit. But hang on, because that SDE number, that's the one we really care about. Okay, now watch this. In 2024, things just exploded. Sales shot up to over $471,000. That's huge. But here's the weird part. The net income actually went down. So what gives? Well, their costs also went way up, probably from opening that new retail store. But look at that SDE number. It went up. This is a huge clue that tells a totally different and much more important story. Now, for this year, we're looking at annualized numbers, basically a projection based on how they're doing so far. Yeah, it's a bit of a step back from that monster year in 2024, but that SDE, what the owner can actually pocket, is still looking like a super healthy $126,000. So by now, you've probably noticed I keep hammering on about this SDE number. That's because when you're buying a small business, just looking at the net income can be really misleading. It's just not the whole story of what you, as the new owner, could actually take home. And that brings us to the most important number in any small business deal, seller's discretionary earnings, or SDE. Just think of it this way. SDE is the total amount of cash the business generates for one single owner to use however they want. It's the net income plus the owner's salary plus other non-cash expenses. It's the real number. Let's just quickly walk through the math for 2024 so this makes sense. So you take that net income number. the $77,999. Then you add back the salary the old owner was paying themselves. Because, hey, you're the new boss, you decide what you get paid. Then you add back things like depreciation. That's just an accounting expense, not real cash leaving your pocket. And then you add back a few other one-off expenses. And boom, there it is, the SDE, over $142,000. Okay, so we've established the business is a proven cash machine, generating 6 figures for its owner. But what's next? What about the future? No business operates in a bubble, so let's check out the opportunities and the roadblocks. So, on the one hand, you've got some real strengths here, a strong brand, loyal customers, and good margins. But you also got to be realistic about the market. They straight up name competitors in the area. The staff is tiny, which means it's pretty much all on the owner. And being in Florida, you're probably pretty dependent on tourists, which can go up and down. But the listing also lays out some pretty clear ways to grow. A new owner could totally double down on those mobile pop-ups that got them started. They could build out the online sales side, maybe partner with local hotels to tap into that tourist crowd. The point is, there's definitely room to grow here if you're ready to hustle. All right, we've looked at the product, the story, the numbers, the good, the bad. It's time to put it all together and answer that big question about that $225,000 price tag. You know, this chart pretty much tells the whole financial story. The cash available to the owner has been super consistent, right around that $126,000 to $142,000 mark. And just so you know, small businesses like this usually sell for a multiple of their SDE, maybe 1.5 to 3 times that number. So at an asking price of $225,000, that's a multiple of about 1.58 times its best year. What does that mean? It means if you could hit those same numbers, you could theoretically earn your entire investment back in less than 2 years. So on paper, that price seems totally fair. It's right where you'd expect it to be. But, and this is a huge but, we gotta end with a reality check. This is literally a quote from the listing's disclaimer. It's a critical reminder that these are just the seller's numbers. If you were serious, you'd have to do your own homework, hire an accountant, and check everything. Bottom line, trust, but always, always verify. All right, so now that the ball's in your court, you've seen the business, the cool product, the numbers, the potential. So here's the final question. For a shot at taking home over $120,000 a year, would you write a check for $225,000? What's your move?